almost falls down. Throws to the end zone. On!
It will change. And I'm not trying to tell you something. It's going to change. It's not like that. Okay, but I want you to understand where I'm coming from. It will change. And it will change because they wanted to change. Not because of me. It will change because they want to be champions.
Smith in a gun, the throw on his left hip. Third down, Alex takes the snap. Alex looking, got it, post, and it's good! Touchdown, 49! Vernon Davis with the play of his life. It all comes to this fourth down. 4th and 4 at the San Francisco 10. Ryan in a shotgun. Rodgers to his left. 3 receivers right. Ryan takes the snap. Looking, pressure, throws middle. Broken up, fighting. NaVorro Bowman. And the 49ers silence the house.
Hey, we're the Gold Blooded Podcast, and we're coming back at you right now. And we're just here trying to mentally channel Matterson just because we missed the little guy. We can't wait till the season's back and we hear from him all the time. I think we have a bit of a Matterson treat coming at you folks later, so get ready for that. We just kind of previewed it, and it is
amazing.
Yeah, it's something fucking else. It's it's wild. All right, so we're here. It's the off season. You know what that's for. It's for
cunts.
The draft?
Yeah, it's for a bunch, it's for
free agency?
Yeah, it's for a bunch of things that don't really, I don't know, the big scheme of
domestic
things.
Abuse arrests?
If we're lucky, maybe. Hopefully none of us pick up any of those.
It's where teams either get better or worse.
Hopefully none of us pick up one of those. Hopefully no one's doing anything that would even give them the remote possibility of being picked up for one of them.
Yeah, I don't think I will. Maybe, but I don't think so.
There's that fucking confidence, Joe.
There's always an outside shot. Things go, the fucking car goes off the tracks,
Maybe in your world, not in my world. There's 0% chance of that ever happening. There's a 0.0% chance that the quote-unquote cars comes off the tracks and I domestically abuse my wife and get arrested. There's a 0% chance. Not like 0.01, like flat zero.
Chris, do you ever fear maybe something like that?
Like if you rounded it to the nearest 1 zillionth fucking decimal point, it's still 0.
Steve?
No, not a chance.
And I've dated some evil people.
There is a much higher chance that my wife gets arrested for domestic abuse than I do. A much higher chance. And by much higher, I mean higher than 0.
All right. I don't know. This is a
That didn't go your way, did it?
No.
bad conversation.
But it went the way all 4 of us would expect it to go.
I don't think I will.
Yeah, pretty sure. Pretty confident.
Hopefully I don't.
Fingers crossed. If I had to bet, I'd bet.
Love you, baby.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm jumping back into it.
Giddy up.
Talked about it a little bit in part 1, but Cassius Marsh obviously released only days after signing D Ford's contract. Had about 20 or so games with the team. He was up and down.
Lots of drop kicks.
It wasn't his fault that he was the best pass rusher on a team that didn't have anything else at all whatsoever.
That's fair. Not his fault.
The 49ers avoid $5.5 million of his cap for this year, which he barely lives up to. Like, if we would have kept him, he would barely warrant the $5.5 million. Like, that's like, yeah, maybe you're worth that if we have nothing else. But we do have something else. We have D Ford now.
What those losers up north pay him?
A lot less than $5.5 million.
No, I thought it was 2 years, $10 million.
Well, the cap. It's all about the cap hit. I don't know what the cap hit is. Okay. Brock Coyle, talked about him a little bit in part 1. Released, then retired.
2 years, $10 million.
After signing a 3-year deal with the team last offseason, he suffered a compression back fracture in week 1, and he was placed on IR. But I remember him in 2017 admirably, filling in for after we released NaVorro Bowman and filling in for the inconsistent health of Reuben Foster.
Who?
Brock Coyle.
Oh, did you see Gerald Hodges retired?
No, did he?
Yeah.
No shit.
Yeah.
Did that just come through the ticker just now?
Nope, a couple days ago.
Oh, totally missed that.
I'm glad I could be of service.
Thank you. Elijah Lee, we signed to a 1-year exclusive rights tender. Last year, he shined down the stretch, and there were some that were ready to label him as the surefire starter. But I'm glad that Lee is still with the team. I think he's a decent player, but I'm glad that he's a depth piece behind Steady Freddy and Quan Alexander rather than a starter, because I don't think that maybe he could develop into a starter still, but I don't think he's you locked and loaded. Like, yeah, he's the guy. I don't think so. But I'm glad he resigned with the team for at least another year.
I think you're the guy. And I'm proud of you.
Is he the guy from Harry Potter?
What about...
Elijah? No?
No.
Wasn't he also the guy from the Green Street Hooligans?
Oh, maybe.
I think you're
What are you doing here?
I think you're mixing up...
It won't stay. Watch. So I just moved it out of the way.
Oh, Rob's
Give up.
pop filter is done.
I'm just trying not to pop, that's all. I talk like this.
Yeah. Just you got to watch out for the
like that.
peas.
You wanna put a sock in your mouth?
These soft peas,
I got
the
a sock
peas
for
soft,
you.
Rob.
Just go like this. I'll just talk through my shirt so there's no popping. How's that sound, Chris? Good?
Yeah, like he's doing his taxes. You think he's heard anything we've said?
He's got it unplugged with a noise canceling headphone so he doesn't have to listen to us. Yeah, sure.
This might be the only podcast in existence where one of the members just sits here and does their taxes.
It's tax day tomorrow.
It's fucking tax day. Oh, Chris waited till the last minute. What a fucking
That's
surprise.
such a fucking surprise. Doesn't sound like him at all.
Hey, if it's done, it gets done.
But will it?
I'm done.
He just did it on the clock.
Giddy up.
So another report that was floated out there.
Float it, Steve. Float it.
Floated. What did I say? I thought that's what I said.
Yeah.
So why are you repeating me?
No, you said it was floated, and he's telling you to float it.
Oh, okay.
Send it, bitch.
All right.
Fuck.
He just needs to be a part of it, Steve.
Right. Well, we reportedly pursued Le'Veon Bell and made a serious push, and it was stated that the Jets came over the top late. This was such a head scratcher that I still don't believe it's entirely true.
I don't believe it.
I think Lynch confirmed it.
He did.
I feel like I felt the same way. I was like, yeah, okay, sure. But then I feel like I heard Lynch. I made it. Maybe I made that up. I don't know.
I don't remember Lynch.
Like I
saying
said, I don't
anything
believe
about
anything
Bell.
from anywhere.
Yeah, but I mean, it's
probably
worth
wouldn't
discussing. Like,
believe it
did
if
we
Lynch
seriously
said it.
go after Le'Veon Bell? Like, really?
No, I think if you're gonna shit talk what Antonio Brown did, then I don't think you could then go after Le'Veon Bell.
Not the same.
Completely different.
Not remotely the same.
Yeah. Whatever.
Completely different. Not even remotely close to the same.
Yeah. In my
That's like comparing Navarro Bowman leaving to Alden Smith leaving.
Yeah.
Like not remotely the
In
same.
my opinion, in my eyes, it's the same thing. The two of them. Same thing.
All right.
See, he has like this vision where he can see certain shit that I can't see.
Yeah, no, I don't.
But then
think
there's other
that's-
times
no,
where
I
this
don't-
is like you're just so far off here, Joe.
No, I don't think that's how it works at all, Steve. I don't think that's how it works at all. I think it's like I just say whatever, and sometimes it happens to be right. It's like if I go through, if I took the SATs and I went A, B, C, D, E, A, B, C, D, E, eventually one of them is fucking right. And you're like, how did he get this fucking question right? It's so fucking hard. It just fell in place.
So
Sure thing.
I mean, if I had to guess, I would say that it was floated out there by Bell's agent because I do not think that he got nearly what he was thinking he was going to get.
Yeah, he looks like an asshole just because of all this time, and he just got like a regular ass contract.
Yeah. But, I mean, a very small part of it the only thing that made me think maybe it was true is the fact that we signed Tevin Coleman. So when that happened, I'm like, maybe we were looking at Le'Veon Bell, but like, I would have been
Yeah, but probably
flummoxed.
for like $2
I would have
million.
been fucking pissed if we paid another running back on top of McKinnon $13 million. Like, get the fuck out of here. That's the most replaceable position on your team. That's almost as replaceable as your fucking kicker or your punter or whatever.
Well, we don't have a kicker as of right now.
Sure we do.
We're getting to
Oh.
that.
No, he hasn't signed his tender.
Oh,
Bubba.
Vogel's the punter. My bad. No.
Robbie Gould has yet to sign his franchise tag. Prior to receiving the tag, the reports out there were saying that he really wanted to explore the market and
He
also
just wanted to go back to.
explore chances of returning to Chicago, who fucking cut him. They cut you and replaced you. What? Why do you want to go back there?
It's where he lives. That's where his family is. It's nothing to do with the team.
But
Figures if he's gonna kick a stupid ball
His
through a
wife
fucking
probably
upright.
still lives there. He probably,
hours after the report that the
probably got a
Niners were
boyfriend there.
looking at Steven Gostkowski, the Patriots signed him to
Yeah.
2 years. It was like hours afterwards.
They probably just used that
Maybe.
report.
Yeah, his
get-
agent probably did.
Yeah, for sure. Put a little pressure on Belichick.
We named head athletic trainer Dustin Little, and he has spent the past 5 years with Denver in a variety of roles. I tried finding more information on him, but he's like the man of mystery. I couldn't find really anything on him. But he's the head of our athletic training staff right now.
Make something up.
I could have done
No,
that.
I
You're right.
forget.
I could have done that if I
He
wanted
is
to.
from one of the colleges.
Yeah.
No, for real. And they do things completely different. It's like they do a lot of numbers crunching to come up with their
Analytics.
Yeah, I definitely heard this from Shanahan. I believe it was
Really?
USC. I don't know.
I don't know nothing about nothing.
It's from one of the California colleges.
Anyway,
What's the name?
Dustin Little.
Yeah, he's not little.
He fucks hard.
Not Little.
I don't know. I assume he's big.
He lays pipe.
The only thing I could find was that he was with the Denver Broncos for the last 5 years in a variety of roles. That's the
Oh, so
only
he
thing
definitely
I
didn't come
got.
from a college.
He actually
totally made that up.
No.
I know something about
Well,
it.
I think you're talking about two other guys that were hired before we recorded last
Okay,
time.
okay.
And I was actually to find quite a bit of information on those guys, but this guy I couldn't find jack shit about.
So when Dustin Little was with the Denver Broncos, he actually went out as their mascot for one game.
Really?
Yep. Believe it or not, he
Is that made up?
Nope.
How do you know that?
That's something I know.
So moving on to a potential game in China in 2020. The Niners are exploring the option of playing in China for 2020, and we would be giving up a home game to do it. Thoughts?
I'm with it. Expand the horizon.
I think it's horseshit. You don't give up a home game ever. Ever. You never give up a home game. You never give up that advantage. Because if you fly to China and you fucking lose, I'm just going to be mad at you for going to China in the first place. Because you probably could have won that game if you were at home.
Who's it against?
I think it would. They were saying it was going to be
Rams,
the
right?
Rams. Yeah. Like, that's a big one, too. Like, you want to be at home for that.
Hey man, what do you want me to say? I like that shit. That shit makes me horny.
What threw me for a loop was this paragraph. It said, according to the report, it would take place prior to the start of the regular season for the rest of the league in order to make up for the intense travel and time difference. Beijing is 15 hours ahead of the Pacific time, so the teams would need plenty of time to adjust their body and clocks in order to play in the game effectively.
So the idea is it would be the first game of the season.
Week 1 in
Week
China.
1, and it would be before the Thursday night season opener. So you'd have like
Or
2
would
weeks.
it be the Thursday
No,
night?
I think it would be
season
even earlier.
Yeah.
What?
So that you would have time to like prepare for that following.
How
Sunday.
insane would that be?
That might be beneficial.
Right? Yeah.
Team building.
If that's the case, like
If-
yeah.
that's like a free bye week.
I believe you were the one that told us the rumor was it was to stay off of Hard Knocks, or somebody said that.
Yeah, they were-
I'm all in then.
There were a lot of reporters saying that this was that if they were to do this, it'd be a trade-off, like because the
And
NFL
it may not be a specific, like the NFL might not have said do this and you don't do that.
Right.
But it might have been like, well,
We
you're
might-
doing the league a favor.
I mean, if you look at
I'm in then.
if you look at the teams that could be forced to do Hard Knocks, I think it's down to like 5 teams, and we're one of them. We are by far and away the most attractive team for a TV show like that because we have the coach,
Upside.
we have the GM, we have the quarterback, we have the young nucleus. We're gonna have whoever the number 2 pick is.
And if you win, like if you go to the playoffs, then you can't be picked the next
Yes,
year, right? Or
correct.
something like that. So
or if you hire a new head coach,
so we can start over and not
Yeah.
be.
So when does it start? Like because they haven't picked this year yet, right?
What they have? Oh, Hard Knocks.
Yeah.
yeah. That should be coming within the next few weeks of who it's going to be.
I dread that.
Yeah, but getting back to the China game, the international games have been canceled in the past. Most notably, last year's game that was supposed to be played in Mexico City. It was the Rams and Chiefs on Monday night. Last minute, they said, "Fuck you, Mexico City. Your field stinks," and they moved it to LA. And that game was played LA. It was actually probably the best regular season game of the year. It was kind of funny. And then there was a scheduled China preseason game in 2007 that was canceled between the Patriots and the Seahawks.
Why?
Because the league wanted to focus more on expanding to Europe instead of China, the UK.
Yeah, I
London.
mean, hey, listen, if it works out like the way it was just explained, I think that's a great opportunity. And I think the San Francisco has a huge history and relationship with China, you know what I mean? So I think it'd be good for those people.
Do Chinese people give a fuck about American
That's
football?
what I'm saying. In my opinion, like if you're not in on American football, seeing one game, it's not going to get you in on it. Like you're focused on China. What baseball? Is their primary sport probably?
I don't know.
Baseball and
No, I
soccer.
think they have a huge basketball league.
They do
Like a ton of
basketball, yeah.
next level NBA players go there for their next.
Yeah.
Like how baseball players go to Japan, basketball players go to China.
I just don't
Yep.
see it being worth it in general. Like all these games in London, and I really, if you were to
Like
move a
how
team
many
there,
fans in Europe?
Yeah, what are you
went and
gaining?
bought jerseys or yeah.
what are you honestly gaining? It seems like a lot of work for a little game, but whatever.
It is the most profitable league in professional sports, so they're doing something right.
Well, they're
Yeah.
definitely doing something right in that aspect, but
baseball's doing it too. Baseball's got the Red
And
Sox.
China is one of the most highly, it's got the most money in one of the most populated countries ever. So fuck it, try to sell it there.
I just hate seeing these teams getting consistently fucked with time travel and fucking long plane rides and giving up home games, and it's like, can't we just keep it normal?
It must be working because baseball's following suit. The Red Sox and Yankees are playing in London.
Oh yeah,
Pussy farts, Steve. Pussy farts. Remember that.
pussy farts. Speaking of pussy farts, Ched York punched a wall when he was informed of Jimmy's torn ACL. He reportedly missed the wall and hit a stud.
Ugh.
Well, that statement doesn't make any sense.
Nope.
He missed a wall and hit a stud.
Oh well, he missed it.
Stud's part of the wall.
Yeah, he missed
No,
the hollow
I think
point,
he was going for the hollow point, and he ended
which
up.
nobody knows where it is.
First of all, nobody ever aims for the hollow. They
Yeah.
just punch the wall out of frustration.
Right.
Yeah.
And there's either a stud or there's not.
Well, I
There's
was,
a chance you're probably not hitting.
You don't like look at
Yeah.
but nobody has ever been like, I'm gonna punch the wall. No stud right there.
Yeah.
Like you're just like and then there is.
oh,
or there
I
isn't.
agree. I try to get through it. Rip it
Yeah,
right
well,
the fuck
yeah,
down.
whatever it is,
Yeah.
cement, fucking,
Well, yeah.
yeah, it's just a fit of
Metal.
rage.
But
Doors.
It would have. I bet. Imagine how funny he looks throwing a goddamn punch.
right, he claimed it was a good punch, and he thought that he broke his wrist.
Yeah, guess
Yeah.
what? Then it wasn't a good punch. Number one, and number two, I'm pretty sure it wasn't a fucking good punch. His name is fucking Jed.
I will take this opportunity to credit him for staying out of the headlines for saying stupid things to the media. Like we haven't heard anything dumb from him.
And at least that story didn't come out mid-season.
Yes.
Which means it was.
Yeah, you're staying off the radar.
Do you think he put a wrist brace on?
Probably
Is it?
100%?
Probably had a tough,
I thought I would actually be willing to bet everything I own that he had a wrist brace on.
probably had a tough time typing.
100%.
He doesn't type. He's the CEO.
Yeah.
He's got to send creepy emails.
Creepy
No
emails.
way. He's got an assistant that does that shit.
Not his personal stash.
What are we looking at for time here?
20.
20. All right. So just a few notes on the draft. Josh Rosen is still a Cardinal, so it's no guarantee that they're taking Kyler Murray yet.
Yeah.
You cannot guarantee that until Josh Rosen is traded.
For sure.
But I mean, it's also that the league is telling them don't trade him because we want you. We don't want you to kill the suspense of number one when draft night comes because that's a big show for them, or they're maybe just not getting what they're looking for him.
I mean, that number one pick is the only pick that you can actually prepare and know 100%
Ahead
what
of
you're
time.
doing. Now, somebody could come in and change your mind. Like you could in your meetings go, we're taking Kyler Murray or we're taking Nick Bosa. Done. No questions asked. Unless he rapes someone between now and then, we're taking him.
Mm-hmm.
Now, and that's the other thing. They may not be trading their quarterback because they want to wait until the last minute just to make sure nothing happens. But anytime along the way, another team could pop up and go, we'll give you our next 5 first-round picks for that. I mean, that's not going to happen, but you get my point.
Go ahead.
Did you see how there was that article? I don't know where it was. How they were speculating that the Cardinals and Kyler Murray could already be working out a contract.
They can.
Yeah,
Yeah, that could actually
Yeah,
happen.
There was, I believe it was a.
that used to be a regular thing.
I think it was a PFT article that speculated it. So I don't know. I just.
There's also, I think what they're doing, if they're not getting what they're looking for now, I think that what they're doing is smart, because let's just say that the Giants go all of draft weekend without
Niners
getting a
don't give
single
up the number
quarterback.
2.
Now you're desperate.
Yeah.
Now you gotta pony up.
Yep.
Or a Washington team that has absolutely nothing at quarterback. If you don't get one in the draft, if one doesn't fall to you, if
Yeah,
you
you're in
lose
big
out on
trouble.
your guy, then you're in big trouble. Then you got to start getting more aggressive. So, unfortunately, it would be nice to know that Kyler Murray is going number 1, just to have that
Because then
comfort.
we get to be the team that has
The de facto number 1. But anyway, moving on to last time we were here, talked about Nick Bosa versus Josh Allen. Other possible targets for round 1, which we didn't talk about last time, obviously, Quinnen Williams from Alabama is an interior rusher. A lot of people are saying that he is the best player in the draft over Nick Bosa, over Josh Allen, over all those guys. But it just comes at a position where we have so many guys. We have DeForest Buckner, we have Solomon Thomas, and we have Eric Armstead, who all play the interior. And we have Ronald Blair. Like, drafting Quinnen Williams would be admitting that Solomon Thomas is a bust. Which, if they think that Solomon Thomas is a bust, go get Quinnen Williams. I'm fine with that. I can live with that.
Imagine having 2 DeForest Buckners.
Right. Like it's not like it would be a wasted pick, but it's just unfortunate that he would be log jamming another former first round pick. You want to get as many holes filled as possible. But if they do take him, that kind of tells me that Solomon Thomas is just not the guy and whatnot, which sucks because he was the 3rd overall pick. You expect way more than what he's given us.
Agreed.
I'm sure we could have got. I don't know who else was in that draft, but
Reuben Foster. Those were our 2 first round picks.
no,
Solomon
I
Thomas,
mean
Reuben
who
Foster.
else was?
Oh, at that point in time,
Right.
you passed up on the guard that went to the Colts, McGlinchey's teammate. God damn it, what's his name?
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Him. You passed up on Bradley Chubb, who ended up having 12 sacks for the Broncos. Or no. I'm thinking of a different draft. I'm all fucked up. There's too many drafts in my head right now.
You've been getting high.
No, I was just my memory base that I've been following the draft a lot more closely since we've been doing this. So in my brain, I kind of have memories from 2014, 2013.
Why haven't you been getting high?
Well, not during a recording, no.
Well,
Later on, I will.
I'm asking you.
Yeah,
life.
later on, but that doesn't affect this.
Okay. I didn't say it did.
Then why bring it up?
Because I like to get high.
Did you just meet him?
I don't know.
Then why bring it up? Everything you ever bring up is so right to the point of this podcast. Why would you bring up something that's got nothing to do with this podcast, Joe? What has happened to you? I'm
sorry.
Are you drunk?
I don't know.
He wants to know why you're bringing up stuff that doesn't have to do with the podcast. I think a better question would be, why are you bringing up real points on this podcast, Joe?
I was just asking. I just wanted to know if you were getting high. Sorry, Bob.
It was awkwardly timed, I agree.
Yeah.
But it wasn't out of the character for him.
I know. Do either of you have strong feelings on, let's just say Kyler Murray does go number 1, on who you would want at number 2?
I don't know enough.
You don't know enough. Joe?
But personal choice, I would rather move down and get a whole boatload of picks because I don't know enough.
I'd probably go with that. I would say that, or I don't know.
What's
I
that?
feel like what
What I said.
what Rob said, but I also feel like my gut is also telling me that Bosa might be like a generational player. But I don't know. I could be wrong. What the fuck do I know?
He's definitely not being talked about he's not being talked about the way Myles Garrett was talked about or Jadeveon Clowney was talked about.
He's not going to be Alden Smith.
No, he's not going to. I mean, he's not going to approach Reggie White's sack record.
Yeah, no.
But
And that's why I'd rather move down.
yeah,
Especially if it's with the Giants and it's only 4 spots down and we're still going to
And
get
if
a great
we
pass
and if
rusher.
we can get a great competitive pass rusher, then fine. unless he's going to be generational, then just do what's best for the team. You know.
Well, Quinnen Williams is being talked about as potential like Aaron Donald type of player, and see Bosa is a lot more polished and ready to go, but his ceiling might not be as high as another guy in Quinnen Williams who only started for 1 year in college and completely wrecked everybody who was in front of him, and he's such still just like a ball of clay that there's so much more development that can be done, whereas Bosa is kind of being viewed as, yeah, he's a really good player, but he's already reached his potential, and that's what you're getting. And you're not going to get much more once he gets to you. He's already ready-made.
There's less gamble there, too. There's more gamble with a guy that has a bigger ceiling.
But then
We've seen
comes
that.
the injury gamble, which
Yeah.
Bosa did tear an ACL in college, and he did have the sports hernia surgery last year. And there is the Bosa injury history in general, going to his brother and even all the way back to his father.
Trade down.
He's got weak family.
Very weak genes.
Weak genes.
Yeah.
Trade down.
Weak as fuck.
Trade down targets, if we were to go that route, are pass rushers Brian Burns and Montez Sweat, who completely tore the combine apart. He definitely helped his stock there. But I don't know. We'll see what happens.
I like to have a guy named Montez on the team.
Montez, yeah.
Yeah.
I've
Joke like a guy named Montez.
Montez.
I wish that I
That's
knew
like the nice Vontez Perfect or whatever his name was.
the nice version of Montez.
Yeah.
Montez.
Yeah. I wish I knew how the team actually felt about Solomon Thomas. Because if somebody from the future came to me and said, yeah, Solomon Thomas stinks, you should have realized that a long time ago, then I would say Quinnen Williams is the pick. But
New D-line coach.
yes, but I still have faith in Solomon Thomas because he hasn't been bad. He just hasn't been
Not a
good.
liability. Yeah.
So I still have faith in him as a player, which leans me towards getting Bosa. But then the other side of me says, you don't draft for need, you draft the best player available. That's when you draft for need, that's when you get in trouble.
Well, you draft for need later on, but
Yeah.
not at number 2.
I mean, ideally,
At number 2, you draft for
best player
quality,
available.
yeah.
And everybody in draft season always gets so unbelievably enamored with what your team doesn't have and filling holes, where there isn't a single team in the league that has it all.
Well,
Not one.
I think what we did in free agency shows that we want to take the best player on the board.
Yes.
Because I think we addressed all those holes in free agency
To
that we were going to.
yeah, to a certain
I mean,
point.
we all agree that there's probably a need at wide receiver,
Yeah.
but we're not drafting at number 2 for wide receiver.
Right.
That's not happening.
No, not a chance.
So I think we filled all those potential spots to open like we said, signing D Ford opens that possibility of whatever we want to do.
But the teams that I've seen win championships over the years, one team that stands out to me specifically is the Denver Broncos when they beat the Panthers that year. They lost their Super Bowl. Prior to that, they got whacked by Seattle in their defense and their pass rush. And then John Elway went out and said, okay, that's not happening to me again. I'm going to load up all on pass rushers and secondary, and I'm going to come and dominate you. And that's exactly what they did in Cam Newton in the Super Bowl. So it's not always all about filling the holes. It's about making a strength stronger. And that's how you checkmate teams. Willis and Bowman, that was a checkmate. That was our thing. Like you would never trade one of those two guys to shore up another position on our team.
Right.
So it's not always about what you need. It's about who's the best player, and making a strength stronger is sometimes
Best for
better
the
than
team.
trying to fill a hole.
The team.
Exactly. Possible round 2 targets at wide receiver. I'm liking what I'm seeing from a lot of the mocks that are going around. It seems like maybe 1 or 2 wide receivers get picked in round 1, but there is going to be a serious run on wide receivers in the early to mid-second round, and that's right in our wheelhouse. So we might end up having our pick of the litter from any one of the 6 wide receivers that are there and worthy of that selection. You got N'Keal Harry from Arizona State, Hakeem Butler.
That's my guy, right?
That's your guy. I got to credit Joe with that find. He's become my guy over this process of finding out a lot about these
You
guys.
guys aren't allowed to have the same guy. This podcast suffers if you guys don't have completely opposite views.
I found him
This
first.
doesn't work.
You did find him first.
This doesn't work. You have to hate him then.
No, well, I have a feeling that Shanahan hates him. I don't think that Butler is a Shanahan kind of wide receiver.
All right.
Although I love Hakeem Butler, I don't think that Shanahan is gonna end up picking him. Marquise Brown, the speedster from Oklahoma, this dude
Speedster.
is like
Speedster.
Deshaun Jackson.
Speedster.
And A.J. Brown from Mississippi and Debo Samuel from South Carolina.
Debo.
To be honest,
Names their kid.
I'd be.
Who watches the movie Friday?
Do you know how it's spelled?
Deebo.
Yeah, it is.
I don't care how it's spelled. Oh my god.
Who watches the movie Friday and says, that's what I'm going to name my kid?
Well, probably the kid was born. They probably had a different name in mind. This is how I picture it going down. They had a name all picked out. Montez, maybe.
Yeah.
Ruben,
Nice.
maybe. I don't know. Baby comes out and is just a fucking destroyer. Probably had to have a C-section
Lazy
because
eye?
he's a destroyer.
Lazy eye?
Might have a fucking eye. and the father goes, I know we agreed on Montez, but this kid is fucking Debo.
That's Debo.
Straight the fuck up. Or even could be a situation where wasn't his birth name, but that's what he goes by now.
I'm going with he named himself. He came out and he just said, I'm Debo.
I mean, Coco Crisp, the baseball player, goes by the name Coco Crisp.
Is that his real name?
That's the name he goes by.
Coco
It wasn't
Crisp.
birth, but I think it's like his name now.
Coco Crisp. Okay.
Like, what the fuck?
What do we got, Steve?
What we got is we have a lot of really good players that we're going to be looking at in early round 2 and only one pick. If we were to trade back in round 1 and get another pick from somebody in that early second round, that is like the money spot. Late first, early second.
Well, if we like him enough, if we're picking number 2 in the second round,
No, I think we're picking a little bit later.
it's got to be close.
Yeah, it's
gotta be
close.
2 or 3.
Yeah, it's 4. I'm pretty sure it's 4.
If we're there in the second round
Yeah.
and we like whoever it is, we like him enough, then you move up so you get that extra year out of him.
Yes.
And it's
Which
worth it.
which is what we did with Foster, didn't work out. Which is what we did with Garnett, and didn't work out. But that's just because of the players that they were. It had nothing to do with the move itself. But I would absolutely love to acquire at least one more pick within that 30 to 50 player selection, because there are so many players that are going to go in
you're
that
saying
spot.
you want another one there.
Yes.
You don't want to move into the. I got it.
Yeah, I want multiple picks between 30 and 50, because there are going to be some guys that go there that are going to be future all pros.
It ain't gonna
I
happen,
just know
Steve.
it.
It ain't gonna happen, Steve.
So how do you end up picking 4th in the second round? In second.
Well, if you have the same record with somebody else, you alternate. So
then we would go to second to third or second, right?
I don't know how we're 4th. I don't
Because
know
there
why.
might be multiple teams.
Yeah. Well,
yeah. That's
So
fair.
maybe we go
There's
back.
32 teams, right?
Yeah.
yes.
So you're right. We picked 4th. We're at 36. And then in the third round, we're at 67. So that means we're picking 3rd in the third round. Mm-hmm. So weird.
Yeah. So those were just wide receivers. To go through it again: N'Keal Harry, Hakeem Butler, Marquise Brown, A.J. Brown, Debo Samuel. I don't think DK Metcalf is getting out of round 1, and that about does it for the wide. There's a few other names, but I didn't put all of them on here. And then if we don't go wide receiver in early round 2, there's a lot of other players that would fill needs for us and that are good players.
Any kickers?
No. No, this isn't Tampa Bay. Safety, Darnell Savage from Maryland. Cornerback, here's another name, Greedy Williams,
Yeah, I read that one.
LSU.
Yeah, he's got some other issue though.
What's that?
I don't know. I read something about it. It's something.
Helpful.
Well, you might be referring to the fact that he hasn't gotten a single visit from a team,
Whoa.
but it was because that there's no questions about him. Anyway,
Oh, did we talk? We didn't talk about the AIF shutting down.
no. But
Priceless.
Oh, gotta love it.
All right.
So let's just start a new league that's everyone's leftovers. I'm sure it'll do well.
I mean, it was not bad football. I only watched like a few minutes here and there, but it didn't seem like it was bad football. Like thinking back to what the XFL was back in the year 2000, like that was just bad football.
Let me ask you this: you ever watch a CFL game?
Nope.
That's all you need to know. That's football, and you could watch it if you wanted to.
Yeah.
But you don't.
Yeah.
It's not the fucking NFL. It's
How
over.
have
That's
they,
it.
How have they made it so
That's
long?
it. Put me in a meeting for this AAF, and I'll go, hey, any of you guys ever watch a CFL game? And everyone in the room will be like, no. All right, we're done. See you fucking later. This isn't going to work.
Yeah.
It's not fucking rocket science.
But it's great that they're like, they lied to him. It just seems like it was a shady operation, and it's going to get fucked up.
I mean, think about it. I don't feel bad for the players at all. They just got paid $50K.
Some of them got jobs.
Some of them got hired to the NFL.
Yeah,
just
I mean, some
on
of
this
them might-
opportunity.
What about the ones that got hurt? Now what?
They got paid?
Nobody's paying for that, for their rehab.
Well, no, they got paid. They got paid money when they otherwise would have been sitting on the couch.
Right, but then they also have a blown out knee.
Yeah, well,
And
I mean,
nothing
that's
to show for it except for $50,000.
sure.
But
That sucks.
to be honest, I think something like the XFL has a better shot of making
Because
it.
it's so different.
Because it's different,
Yeah.
and it draws in all these other side of fandom, like WWE fans.
Agreed.
Like it's
Maybe.
a whole
We'll see.
different
Yeah,
thing.
we'll see.
I mean, I'm not watching it, but
So just to finish off my list here, cornerback DeAndre Baker from Georgia, safety Juan Thornhill from Virginia,
Juan.
safety Chauncey Gardner-Johnson from Florida, and one that I'm really interested in is this guard from Boston College, Chris Lindstrom. He fits our system to a T, and his price tag of where we'd need to draft him is right where we are, the beginning of the second round. We don't have a guard that's really worth his salt on the team. We're kind of just getting by with journeymen and late round picks. But if Kyle views guard as he would perfect fit. I would love that pick.
Good
But
job.
that's it. I think we're running towards email time. But before we get to emails, Joe,
Okay.
you sent a text to the group chat the other day, and you never elaborated. And I figured it'd be the perfect opportunity to tell us why you yelled at a woman with an eye patch.
Well, I'm going to tell you why. Because first of all, this woman probably thought because she had an eye patch that I wasn't going to give her the
Is there a setting?
Gotta
Give us a setting
I'm about to
here?
give it to you.
Okay.
But I think she probably had the eye patch on so people wouldn't give her an ear beating when she acts like a fucking asshole. So, I'm on a road. It's a busy road, right? And there's 2 lanes going in each direction. So I'm in what's the more left lane. So I'm closer to the center line, right? There's traffic like everywhere. Both lanes are going very slow. I see a woman coming the opposite direction, switching lanes, so going from her right lane to her left lane, but in a herky jerky motion. The car is doing this.
what kind of car?
A Subaru wagon.
Now, by this, Joe is doing this quick stop, quick start, quick stop, quick start. For those of you that can't see him,
I could see there's the blinkers are going in different directions. Like seems to be chaos in this
herky
car.
jerky. I thought you
thought
summed
he-
it up perfectly.
I thought he was headbanging.
At which point I realize, I look closer, I see the eye patch, and my first thought is this human really have a fucking eye patch on? Like, what the fuck? All right.
You never seen a pirate?
I mean, yeah, no, not driving a Subaru.
No.
So,
Land pirate.
as they get closer, I see this. They're fumbling with their cell phone. She's trying to dial or do something. Drops it once. Her eye patched up head disappears below the dash.
Her one good eye is now below the dash.
Now there's no eyes on the road. She comes back up. She's got the phone. So at this point, when she gets the phone and she's got it to her ear now, she is
Traditional.
just
Traditional
straight up
distracted driver.
holding the phone to her ear, cross body, the whole thing. She is now, her window is now right next to my window.
But you're going in opposite directions.
correct.
Okay.
and it's a beautiful day.
That's
so
an opportunity right there.
yes, this is
Opposite directions.
Uh-huh.
I mean, you're face to
This
face.
is a gift from.
You could say whatever the hell you want.
So I start pounding the side of my truck to get her attention. And she's startled because it was loud. And I drive a shitty truck, so it doesn't matter. I hit it hard. And I said, "Get off your fucking phone, you fucking asshole!" And she bobbled the phone and didn't know what to do. And then I drove off, and she just stayed foot on the brake. Like, she didn't go. The cars in front of her left, and she just stayed for, until it was out of my sight. I don't know what happened, but
Ballsy move, taking a shot at a pirate. She might have had a sword.
I was ready, man.
Just want to shot a little left.
Oh, I was so pissed. Just to see her just total inconsiderate. I mean, she only got one good eye, only got one good lamp, and here she
Take
is
it easy.
trying to dial a number.
All right, emails.
All right.
First one up is from Zachariah Rush.
No, you're wrong.
I'm wrong.
Yeah.
Okay.
You got to read the Podbean. I'm going to read it.
All right.
Another
We got a Podbeaner.
Someone said in reference to episode 186, Free Agency Primer, Bosa versus Allen, they said, "Finally, I got my best podcast back. Good work as usual. Love it." I don't know who it's from, so
Just another Podbeaner.
thanks. You
Just a pod beaner.
Yeah. Listen, whoever took the time to leave this message on Podbean, can you email us at goldbloodedpodcast@gmail.com and tell us
It's
why
like this secret society. The more questions you ask, the more you get pushed away.
tell us why you listen on Podbean and what the fuck it is.
What is this Podbean community?
That's the one and only time.
Do you guys get together around the holidays? Like, what do you do? Are you having an Easter Podbean party?
Keep it up.
All right. Zachariah Rush, skydiving discussion. I remember this conversation. In relation to your discussion on beating your meat while skydiving, here's an article about something similar that happened about 30 miles from my city 7 to 8 years ago. Unfortunately, the video got taken down, but there's pictures in the article. Now, did anybody
Oh,
read
I'm
the
going there
article?
right now.
I'm in the article
I
right
read
now.
it. Now, refresh my memory.
Okay, so it was Alex Torres, who's 34, and Hope Howell, 20.
they did some banging in the air, right?
Torres, a French-Canadian porn star, and Howell, an aspiring adult actress, performed the stunt via their mutual employer, Skydive Taft, in California, where Torres worked as a part-time skydiving instructor, and Howell was the receptionist. Apparently, they dove and were fucking on the way down.
That's steamy.
Yeah.
I've been skydiving.
I mean, that's definitely a step up from what we talked about, which was masturbating in midair. Never
Right.
mind fucking in midair.
I've been skydiving and
You have?
yeah.
How was that?
Great.
Yeah? Would you do it again?
Yeah. Yeah. I was attached to somebody. We went from
Of course.
11,000.
You need a certain amount of jumps before you go alone.
We went 11,000 feet, and I didn't want to sit in a classroom. I showed up at 6:30, and by 7:30, I'd already jumped a.m. It was great. It was fucking phenomenal. I don't know that I'd want to be jerking my dick at that. I mean, I don't know. Maybe.
Okay, so it says here there are no specific laws regarding sexual activity on private planes. However, the Federal Aviation Administration holds that any activity that may distract the pilot violates federal regulations. Accordingly, the FAA is still reviewing the case to see if any disciplinary action should be taken against the pilot.
I don't think he's that, unless he got involved with the KY. I don't think he had anything to do with it.
Yeah.
He held the camera.
Very interesting. All right.
Rob, you have anything to say about this?
No.
No. Okay.
Moving on to Matterson.
Number 1 of 10. He says, no subject. Hey, crew. I don't know if you guys want to hear this lengthy audio recording while recording the episode, but you guys have the right to listen to it before and decide to put it out there for other listeners to listen. I have a lot of opinions in this recording. Other than the recording, it has been a very wet February and January here in California.
Alright, so I have a lot of things to say. If I did this in an email, it would have been a novel. So better audio than email. If it goes extremely long, like I'm expecting it to, you have the right to do whatever you want to do with this audio. Put it out as a bonus content to the listeners, or you just listen to it before you record and then express it. Your opinion. But anyway,
11 minutes remaining.
I want to get to my reaction to the Super Bowl, because I didn't even say anything on the Super Bowl. I did but this is warrants because you guys express your opinions on rooting for teams in the same division as the Niners. Now, a few years ago, I was strongly root teams in different divisions as the Niners, from the Niners.
Skydiving.
But it's gone down to the point. Like,
Yeah. Is he
any
skydiving?
team against the Seahawks, I'll root for.
I am.
I have problems with the Seahawks. That's my reason. But I can understand why people wouldn't want to root for the Rams against the Patriots. But here's another reason why I rooted for the Rams. I was confident that they had enough weapons on the offense to be
10 more minutes.
against that defense. But unfortunately, the way it turned out, they didn't utilize all their weapons very well. Todd Gurley was one of the examples in that game. That's my reasons why. So it's fun to get. It's also fun against the Patriots. So together this time, it's like, really, they didn't have them combined. They're just separate. Wow. Apparently, combining them makes me hopeful for a season with a lot less injuries in the future. Just saying. I mean, there's going to be injuries, but I'm hoping about Odell Beckham Jr.
Fast forward.
With the Browns, and that's fair enough. I still think that Kyle Shanahan has this strong opinion that we don't need players like Antonio Brown, Beckham Jr., Reuben Foster on the team because they have problems off the field. That I can see. They want players who are committed to the game.
Fast forward.
It is happening this year. I can't remember the name exactly, but anyway, the idea with these programs is they're just developmental leagues, like the minors for the MLB or the G League for the NBA. In my opinion, this is my opinion, that the league needs a league like this because college hasn't been very developmental with every player position. So it'd be nice to see like a linebacker coming out of one of these leagues joining the NFL in the future. Just saying. Just an example. I just want to know what your guys' opinion about this topic. Other than that, I am out, really. Alright, expecting you to.
I love the music,
I just want to
Matt.
bring the music back around. I feel like I could edit that.
But we'll get to our opinions on that sooner or later. We'll talk about it.
I think there should be. I think there should be minor league for the league, and I thought there should have been a long time ago.
All right, so in another email from Matt Matterson, he says, another topic. Hey, crew, I have another topic or question to ask you, and you guys can talk about it. During the Combine, Kyle S. expressed his opinions about the draft happened before free agency. Coaches and general managers can use the free agency to fill the holes in teams. I agree with Kyle. What are your guys' opinions? Is there a good reason why it shouldn't happen? Steve, why don't you answer that?
I think that there's pros and cons to both sides. I don't know. I haven't really thought about it. That if Kyle feels that way, there must be some sort of reason as to why he wants the draft to happen before free agency.
There's probably some free agent players that would get fucking paid if it was that way because the team has a hole that they're not
Right.
They can't fill into the draft.
Yeah.
Now if they still have the hole.
Yeah.
But there's also some players that would get fucked
Yes.
because that team would draft someone instead. You know, the 49ers have the number 2 draft pick. They might not sign D Ford if they already drafted Nick Bosa, and so it could go either way for sure.
I see the pros to it where free agency costs a shit ton of money, and you'd rather spend a shit ton of money on things that you know are going to fill a hole or a void instead of spending a shit ton of money and then doubling down on that position or tripling down on that position, and then that shit ton of money that you spent seem a little bit unnecessary at the end of the day. So, I don't know. I don't really have strong feelings one way or the other.
All right, and in the last email from Matterson, he says, no subject. In my audio that I sent, I picked Nick Bosa over Allen. I still stand by my pick. Number 1, after picking up some free agency linebackers, I can't see the Niners picking another linebacker in the draft. 2, DeForest Buckner and Bosa on the same team? Man, that defensive line would be tough for any offense to face.
Now, let me remind you, Matterson, we've said that every single year over the past 4 years, starting with Eric Armstead, and then Buckner, and then Solomon Thomas. And now we're going 4 straight years on the defensive line, either interior or on the edge. But, no, I do think it's the right way to go. It's the highest impact position based on what's available in the draft. And I've always believed you win on defense with talent and you win on offense with scheme. Now, it's not a bad thing to have talent on offense, but that's obviously you want that. But I just think that that's how you win in this league. You want, if you had to pick one side or the other, where you want your talent to be, your freaks, you want them on defense. Because any good offensive coach can get more out of players than on offensive side of the ball than what a defensive coach could do with lesser players on their side of the ball.
Fair.
Giddy up, Steve. With that said, when are we going to record again?
Following the draft, probably not a week out. The earliest we would come back would probably be 2 weeks out from the draft, but might be 3 weeks, might be 4 weeks.
What's draft day?
Draft day is April 25th. That's round 1. So,
That's coming up quick.
yeah. Less than 2 weeks away, I believe.
These questions will be answered.
Yeah, so maybe a month from now you'll hear from us.
Yeah, something like that.
Okay.
Sometime between a month and 6 months.
Email us, goalbuttapodcast@gmail.com. And yeah, fuck off.